All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful, elect out told in this truth. Shalom to the few sisters, the Aquathium, who listen and learn in silence. To all of you, I say Shalom. I'm the brother Pathak Amath, GMS Dallas. I'm coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson. I'm going to simply entitle this one, Vengeance is Coming Upon the Heathen, Not Salvation. Vengeance is coming upon the heathen, not salvation. And, this is inspired by, this whack group out here right now, you know what I'm saying, that's calling themselves Genesis Ministries, an offspring of the group Sakari, with Deacon, what's his name? Deacon, I can't remember his name, man. Damn. Anyway, Deacon something. I can't remember his name right now. And the other one, Hassad, Deacon Hakkad. That's it. Deacon Hakkad. That's how insignificant these niggas are, man. Can't remember their names, man. Deacon Hakkad and his playmate Hassad goes by the name of Hassad. They're out here, just wilding out, man. All manner of madness. They done just remixed everything. Now the heathen can be saved, and the heathen are going to go on chariots. They're going to receive glorified bodies, salvation, everything that Israel is going to receive, which is madness, man, straight up, because the scriptures are clear, man. Vengeance, according to the scriptures, is coming to the heathen, these nations, not salvation. You know what I'm saying? Not glorified bodies. That's crazy as hell, man. Don't make no sense. And as a matter of fact, let's get this real quick. This 1 Corinthians, is it 14? Yeah, 14 and verse 33. This 1 Corinthians 14 and 33, and it reads, "For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints." So the Lord ain't the author of confusion. As a matter of fact, let's read this in the NLT. Let me real quick. Let's read this in the NLT. See what it reads in the NLT. This 1 Corinthians 14 and 33 in the NLT. It says, For the Most High is not a God or a power of disorder, but of peace, as in all the meetings of the Most High's holy people. Did you hear that? The Lord is not the the power of disorder, man. As a matter of fact, when you jump down, let's go down to verse 40 real quick. What does the Lord say? 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40, and it reads, But be sure that everything is done properly and in order. So the Lord is about things being done properly and in order, about order, man, not disorder, which is that confusion. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is not the author of confusion. So these niggas out here are the ones that's bringing the confusion, man. You know what I'm saying? Let all things in the KJV, let all things be done decently and in order. That's what the Lord wants, man. He's not about disorder. He's about order. So just with that understanding, he's not the author of confusion, man. So where's the confusion coming from? From these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Out here bugging out, and they bugging these people out, man. But it is what it is. So let's just get into this real quick. Vengeance is coming upon the heathen, not salvation. So, and that reminds me really quick, jump right in. This is Psalms chapter 149 and verse 7, just getting right to the point. Psalms 149 and 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, which is talking about the nations, man. You know what I'm saying? It says to execute vengeance. That's what's coming, man. Vengeance, not salvation, not love, not glorified bodies. Vengeance. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, we're going to probably be going to the NLT. Let's see what the NLT says. Psalms 149 in the NLT, it says, verse 7, it says to execute vengeance on the nations and punishment on the people. There you go. So the heathen is talking about the nations, man. So where's the salvation in vengeance, man? Vengeance coming upon them. Are you serious, bro? You know, these dudes are bugged out, man. That's what's coming to the nations, to the heathen, man. Vengeance. You know. So we're gonna get some more to continue to back that point. Let's go to Isaiah 63 because Yahushua is about to return, and this is what he's coming for. You see it right there in the heading, Isaiah 63:1. In the heading, it's the KJV version. In the heading, it says, "The Most High's vengeance on the nations," plural, all 17 other nations outside of his own nation, man. They got vengeance coming, man, not salvation. The hell is wrong with you dudes? Isaiah 63:1. I'm probably going to read it in both versions. I'm going to read the KJV, then I'll get it in the NLT. You know, try to go through it pretty quick. You know, I don't want to make this too long since I'm going to be going in and out the NLT and the KJV. Isaiah 63:1 in the KJV. It says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?" And of course, this is dealing with Edom. And we now know the Edom represents the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child. They are the true red Hebrew Edomites of the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's talking about them with dyed garments from Basra, which is a chief city in Edom, which represents America today. It says, "This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength." You know, in those chariots, you know, it says, "I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save." So we know this is talking about Yahushua. You know, he's the Savior. It says, "Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garment like him that treadeth in the wine fat?" It says, "I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment." You know, which is when you read in Revelation, the 19th chapter. As a matter of fact, we'll get it real quick and we'll come back. Let's get that real quick and we'll come back. Revelation, the 19th chapter, it goes into it. As a matter of fact, I'll start up to get some context. It says in the heading right here, Revelation, the 19th chapter, verse 11, it says the coming of Hamashiach. Of course, it says Christ there, but Hamashiach, man. So we know this is what this is about. So his return, Revelation 19:11, "And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse," which is the chariot, represents the chariots that he's going to be in. You know, horse represents power, and it's going to be a very powerful. And that white, of course, the cleanliness or that purity of the chariot. You know, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. We know who that is, Yahushua. "And in righteousness he doth judge and make war." Boom, because that's what he's coming to do. He's coming to judge this place and these people and make war with all of these top nations, man. You know, these elites and the joint heir rulership on the left-hand side of Esau. These nations that's in joint heir rulership with him right now. Verse 12, it says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. You know, because he's coming to take dominion from these nations, man. You know, that's what the many crowns represent. Crowns represent rulership, kings, you know. And when you read in Daniel, what is that? Daniel, is it 9? Daniel 7, Salakian, and Daniel the 7th chapter, verse 9 or 10, you know, it goes into, you know, "I beheld till the thrones were cast down." Daniel the 7th chapter. And those thrones, same thing, dominion, rulership, and it lines up perfectly with these crowns, synonymous. It's talking about the same things. I beheld till they were cast down. They're about to be cast down. That's what this is going into. He's coming back to judge and make war with these nations and take that over, take that dominion out of their hands. You know, that's what they're going into Daniel, the 7th chapter, verse 18. You know, "And the saints of the Lord shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever," roughly paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? So that's happening when Yahushua returns, man. It says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And here's the point, verse 13, "And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. Which we know that's Yahweh Shai, going back to John, the first chapter, 1:1. The word of the Lord is Yahweh Shai. When you jump down in the book of John, the first chapter, in the verse 14, the 14th verse, it goes into how he became flesh and walked among us, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's going into. But it says, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. So that vesture dipped in blood, that's what it's going into when we go back to Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, and verse 3. It says, Isaiah 63:3, it says, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. That's what it's going into, man. It says, verse 4, for the day of vengeance, boom, because vengeance is upon the heathen, these nations, not salvation, man. It says, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And the redeemed represents the elect, man. You know what I'm saying? So that year of vengeance, man, and we're here. This could very well be the year of vengeance and redemption, man. We could be out of here this year. The way things are going, Lord willing. Abaratsa, Baba Kasha. You know what I'm saying? Lord, Father willing. Baba Kasha is pleased. So verse 5, it says, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me. In my fury it upheld me. Talking about Yahushai. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down the strength of the earth, which in this time are the Edomites, man. So real quick, let's just read that in the KJ Salaki in the NLT. And we'll keep it going. This is Isaiah 63:1 in the NLT. In the heading, it says judgment against the Lord's enemies, which are these nations, man. He's not finna save them. There is enemies. What's wrong with these dudes, man? Verse 1, it says, who is this who comes from Edom, from the city of Basra, with his clothing stained red? Who is this in royal robes, marching in his great strength? It is I, the Lord, announcing your salvation. It is I, the Lord, who has the power to save. Verse 2, it says, why are you clothes so red? Why are your clothes so red? As if you have been treading out grapes. I have been treading the winepress alone. No one was there to help me. In my anger, I have trampled my enemies as if they were grapes. In my fury, I have trampled my foes. Their blood has stained my clothes. So these nations are the enemy of the Lord. They're his foes, man, and he's going to trample them. He's not coming to save them. For the time has come for me to avenge my people, to ransom them from their oppressors. I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed. So I myself stepped in to save them with my strong arm, and my wrath sustained me. Yeah, so the oppressed, man, the nation of Israel, the meek of the earth, Matthew 5:5, the meek shall inherit the earth, man. The meek, the lowly, those on the bottom of this society, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent, who are the actual true biblical Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? That's who he's coming to redeem and deliver, man. Those are the oppressed. Those are the captives. And the captives are about to receive that liberty, that freedom. It says, verse 6, I crushed the nations in my anger. The nations, did you hear that? I crushed the nations. That's the heathen, man. In my anger, he's going to crush them. He's not coming to save them. He's not coming to give them glorified bodies. He's coming to crush them. He's not coming to put them on a chariot. Come on, man. I crushed the nations in my anger and made them stagger and fall to the ground. spilling their blood upon the earth. So that's what's coming, man. That's what's coming to the heathen, man. Not salvation. These dudes are bugged out, bro. Anybody listening to them cats, man, better hurry up and get out of there, man. Let's get another one. This is Ezekiel chapter 25. Salakia. And verse 17, I believe. Ezekiel 25 and 17, it says, and I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am Yahweh Shemel Shai when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. And who is this talking about, man? If you jump up to verse 14, it's going to explain it. Ezekiel 25 and 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai. So definitely Esau ain't got a chance, man. So I hope who part of the, when you say salvation for the heathen, well, he's a heathen, but this clearly contradicts that and cuts that, man. Esau is through, man. So real quick, let's get into NLT. This is Ezekiel 25 and verse 14 in NLT. It says, I will accomplish this by the hand of my people of Israel. They will carry out my vengeance with anger, and Edom will know that the vengeance is from me. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. And we'll jump down to verse 17, and it reads, Ezekiel 25 and 17, I will execute terrible vengeance against them to punish them for what they have done. This dude's sins has stacked unto the heavens, man. So he's done a lot, man. And when I have inflicted my revenge, they will know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So that's what they have coming to them, vengeance. The Lord is going to afflict his revenge on them, not save them. Not give them glorified bodies and put them on a chariot, bro. How bugged out is that, man? That's throughness. So we'll jump back to the KJV. And then we'll go to Micah 5. Just to continue to make the point. In verse 15, it's Micah 5 and 15. And it reads, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Boom. That don't sound good, man. But that's what the nations, that's what the heathen have to look forward to. That's what they have coming to them, man. Not salvation, not glorified bodies, So NLT real quick. Micah 5 and 15 in the NLT, it says, I will pour out my vengeance on all the nations that refuse to obey me, and that's all 17 other nations, including 2/3 of the nation of Israel. That's why the Lord is going to destroy them. Zechariah 13 and 8 is going to come into full effect soon, very soon. 2 parts shall be cut off and die, but the one part is going to be bought through the fire, man, which is the elect, man, the remnant that's returning in these times, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, vengeance is coming to these heathen, though, not salvation. Let's get Obadiah real quick. Go to Obadiah, the first chapter. And we're going to jump down to verse 15. Obadiah 1 and 15. You see in the heading, the day of the Lord's, Salakia, the day of the Lord and the future. So this is what's coming, man. Verse 15, for the day of Yahweh Shemel Shai is near upon all the heathen. All the heathen. I don't know where you getting salvation for the heathen when the Lord is saying vengeance. The day of the Lord is near upon them. All the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they have not been. There it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So the vengeance of the Lord, the day of the Lord, are upon all the heathen. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, let's get that in the NLT. Obadiah 1 and 15, and this one is specifically for vocab Malone, because he said Edom is done away with. But right here it says Edom destroyed, Israel restored. Once Edom is destroyed, Israel will be restored, man. This is one of those prophecies that lets you know that Edom ain't done, ain't destroyed, ain't done away with. They're here, man, because Israel is not restored yet. Those people in the land are not the people, man. You know, that restoration is on the way, man. Israel is being gathered. You know, they're coming back into who they are. And soon the Lord's going to crack those clouds, Matthew 24 and 31, and he's going to gather them from the four corners of the earth, four winds of the earth, from one end of heaven to the other, man, you know. And that's when the restoration is going to begin. So it says, Edom destroyed, Israel restored. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. Obadiah 1 and 15 in the NLT. The day is near when I, the Lord, will judge all godless nations. These nations are godless, man. Why in the hell would he save them? Why in the hell would he give them glorified bodies and put them on a chariot? That makes no sense, man. It says the day is near when the Lord will judge all godless nations. As you have done to Israel, so it will be done to you. Yeah, man. And they're going to get it double, man. Like the scriptures say in Revelations, Revelations 18 and 6. Salakia. Had to think about it for a sec. Yeah, they're going to get it double, man. It says, all your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads. Just as you swallowed up my people on my holy mountain, so you and the surrounding nations will swallow the punishment I pour out on you. Yeah, man. And that's what's coming. Punishments, you know, vengeance, you know, being afflicted. Nothing good, man. You know, inflicting his, you know, terrible vengeance. It don't sound good. But you got these dudes talking about they're going to be saved and get on chariots and get glorified bodies, man. Are you serious? Bugged out, man. So we'll end it with this one right here, man. Just to show you how the Lord actually feels about these nations, man. This is Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 15. It reads, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isle as a very little thing. Jumping down to verse 17, Isaiah 40 and 17. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. Vanity means empty. There's nothing to him. You know, he don't give a damn about them. You know, but he said they're less than nothing, man. They already counted as nothing. Nothing is already nothing. Lord took it even further and said they are counted to him less than nothing. Wow. Even less than nothing. So you would have to, they trying to get to nothing, man. They're less than nothing. So first thing, they would have to get to nothing, which is still nothing. Wow, bro. The Lord makes sure to make it very clear. Dude, this is how the Lord feels about these nations, man. The nations are done. Ain't no salvation for them. So real quick, let's just read it in the in the NLT, and then we'll bring this thing to a close. This is Isaiah 40 and 15 in NLT. As a matter of fact, yeah, in the NLT. It says, no, for all the nations of the world are but a drop in the bucket. They are nothing more than the dust on a scale. On the scales, he picks up the whole earth as though it were a grain of sand. Verse 17, it says, the nations of the world are worth nothing to him. In his eyes, they count for less than nothing. Mere emptiness and froth. And if froth is just that foamy substance, you know, of a drink that most people will either scoop out with a spoon, or some people will blow it off, you know, but they don't mess with that, man. You know, so the Lord is letting you know he ain't messing with these nations, man. They're empty. There's nothing to them. He don't care about them. He don't give a damn about these nations. So he damn sure not finna save them. He's damn sure not finna give them glorified bodies. And they damn sure are not finna go on chariots. Stop, bro. You know, vengeance is coming to the nations, man. That's what they have to look forward to. Vengeance is coming upon the heathen, not salvation. So with that, hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Kakwadash, Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath Shah Dawadat. Shalom.